Oh, you know it, guys. Here we go. You said it. Ariel's Entertainment Podcast. We go live. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm so grateful. It's going to be exciting. It's a packed show. Ariel's Entertainment Podcast. We go live here in 3, 2, 1. ArielENT.com. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much. Best friends, thank you so much for joining us for another Ariel's Entertainment Podcast. Yeah. This is like the most happiest day of my life. I was trying not to show it for the last week. I've been keeping it low key. The only people that know about this is my girl and my mom. So I've been just keeping it low key. I didn't even write notes about this till today, dude, because I didn't want to put too much input about it. But guys, thank you so much for joining us on another show. I got my man here today. Let's give a huge shout out, round of applause to the info warrior himself, Jason Bermas, guys. Woo!
Well, thank you, man. Thanks. That's a very kind introduction. I appreciate you not only watching the content but supporting the program and obviously sharing the information with other people, because that's what it's really about. You know, it's not about me. It's about the world around us and the craziness that goes on, and trying to actually reach people outside of that core audience that already know what's going on. You know, I did that Wrist Flex show yesterday, and, you know, she just was sitting there with her mind blown as we're going through. She's like, we got to do this like once a week, Jason. And I'm like, listen, you come to me with questions and I'd be more than happy to stop in and talk about certain subjects. Because as you know, man, this isn't about, this isn't Democrat, Republican. It's nothing like the mainstream media, the television shows, the entertainment is portraying it as. And we have to be very, very aware of that and how they work in conjunction, ultimately to oppress not only us collectively, but then, oppress our, I guess, desire to take actual action. And that's why local action is very important, and getting out and doing things in your own community is one of those first steps that you can take.
I 100% agree. And what you said the best right there is local action, man. It start from the ground up, dude.
That's exactly right. And a lot of people out there are looking for heroes, and they buy into hopium. And I know that you watch my program, and I'm always extremely cautious of that. I'm not your Jesus Christmas savior. I'm not selling myself as such. And anyone trying to sell you on they're the only way, or, you've got to do this. And it's more of a, I don't want to say cult of personality, but directing you towards false information again and again, that's giving you hope that shouldn't be there. Because ultimately, it's you in the mirror, right? Batman doesn't exist. There's no benevolent billion out there that are going to take care of the people that are going bump in the night. Superman's not real. The aliens aren't coming to save us, right? So you've got to figure out a way to save yourself with the tools that we're given. And one of those tools, obviously, is social media, is live streaming, is using the ability of consumer grade electronics to bring people my show on a daily basis on topics that are either, again, being completely suppressed or being misrepresented so badly that I'm almost ashamed I have, the fraction of the audience that many others have, because I really do think that the stuff that I'm putting out there is really important.
Oh, straight up, dude. 100% important. Every day you have brand new content, almost every day, dude. Like, if you don't have it every day, you at least take like a day off, and you're back at it with like 7 videos going hard in the paint.
Well, that's the other thing. What's really nice about the technology now, again, it's a double-edged sword, right? We have all this censorship going on with YouTube, with ultimately Google, with Twitter, with Facebook, etc. But at the same time, at any moment I can go live in 1080p. And yeah, there are certain subjects that are now taboo and will get you taken off. But there are workarounds, especially when you're bringing up factual information. And that's been my workaround on my channel. 1,700 plus videos on my channel, not one community guideline strike. Now, they demonetized me now 8.5 months ago. And we, you know how I like to do, I shame them on air. Like when we reviewed the channel, we did it on air, live streaming through their platform. That
Bro,
was my extra kick in the nuts,
we do it
because
live.
we do it live. Because again, it's all about, you know, exploiting the system. You know, I still haven't gotten a response, obviously, on my channel, but when they banned, for instance, my thumbnail that had Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, and it had Dan Aykroyd in blackface, and it also had Justin Trudeau in blackface, we also reviewed that live. And here we are 3.5 months later, and I can't even get a review on one of my thumbnails. Why? Yeah. Because we did it live, and I pointed out the fact that, hey, wait a minute, aren't you selling Tropic Thunder on YouTube? Yeah. Like right now, and isn't the cover photo Robert Downey Jr. in blackface? Oh, look, you're selling Trading Places too. Did you censor out the scene if you rent it where Dan Aykroyd's in blackface? Of course not. And I'm like, I forgot that it's okay for the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, to not only be in blackface as Aladdin, but at a summer camp where he stuffed his pants to have what appears to be, you know, a 24-inch salami ding dong. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not allowed to like point that out, but you know, this is a reality we're living in, and I just don't get a response. Like, because that's totally relevant. It's totally fair use. There's no reason that needs to be censored. I'm not endorsing blackface. In fact, the title of my video is, you know, Justin Trudeau went full Robert Downey Jr. You never go full Robert Downey Jr. And, you know, obviously that's like, hey, you shouldn't be in blackface.
I remember you did it live. You shamed him, and we're here to this day, still waiting for an answer.
I'm waiting.
Dude, all right, guys. I know we got into it very quick. This is awesome. I'm so happy to do this, guys. Here's my notes. I write notes because I like to forget. Guys, I haven't to introduce my boy Jason Bermas. I forgot. Jason, tell us who you are and where we can find you, my man.
Well, you can check me out over at youtube.com/InfoWarrior. I'm at Jason Bermas on whatchamacallit, on just about every platform, but Twitter especially. I don't really do the Instagram. I'm not a Snapchatting guy. Believe it or not, that's not me. I don't do those sorts of things. It's because, you know, for me, you know, I don't know, man. I'm not an influencer. That's the other thing. I've been doing this before influencers existed.
Right. I know. You were the first, man.
I'm like a documentary filmmaker that, and you know, you say what you want about Alex Jones, but he pioneered talk radio as a platform for videos. Okay. He pioneered that. You know, Howard Stern did in one sense, but that was more entertainment and purely entertainment, you know, interview based. So it was like always infotainment. There was never factual stuff. It wasn't news studio like stuff. So he's a pioneer in a lot of ways. And I was lucky to be one of the first people, not one of the first person he gave a show to. And that's kind of where, you know, InfoWarrior, I guess 1.0 was born. And now we're well into 2.0, and we're multi-streaming, not only to YouTube, but Twitter, and then Rockfin at the same time. And we can do more platforms. And again, that's using technology to empower myself and not allow it to enslave me. You know, it's a double-edged sword. The technology itself isn't inherently evil, but the tools being utilized by those, again, that would oppress us, you know, is what makes it evil.
No, for sure. Like you said, it's double-edged sword. I can see the way that it can enslave us. But, you know, I feel for us, we know how to work it. For me, I just do like my post, and then I just get off of it, man. And then I watch the YouTube. I check you out because you come on at 9 o'clock at rockfin.com, guys. Go follow my boy, Jason Bermas at Rockfin. Go subscribe to him at YouTube. Check him out at the Twitter. And not only that, my boy Bermas not only does the Rockfin, he does it live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, straight up, because I work at 7. I work from home. And then you come on at 9, man. So it's a win-win situation.
And that's an exclusive, by the way. So the reason we do it there is because in order to watch Rockfin, you do have to make an account, right? So you can have a free account, and then it's a way to actually monetize things outside of YouTube that's plausible. and they're not going to censor me. You know, I did have one video taken down. I can get a strike for it because, you know, it really wasn't strike worthy, but for one of my great resistance videos. And I didn't even challenge it because I knew what they were going to say about it.
Yeah.
And I got a little spicy. I got a little angry. And those videos, the spicy, angry ones, they're staying up over at Rockfin exclusives. Even today, you know, we went live for about an hour with Steve. I've released now 2 portions of that. I'll probably release the 3rd portion, but to be part of the live audience, you just come on over and that way you get it in all one package. And then after a few days, I make it premium. Another thing up there. So if you are a premium member, it's like a Netflix for creators. You get me, you get Jimmy Dore's premium, you get a lot of other creators, the Convo Couch, Nico House, Cernovich is on there if that's your cup of tea. And then there's a bunch of like cool, you know, wrestling / Brazilian jiu-jitsu / MMA. So like if you want to learn striking, Duke Rufus has his like training videos that would cost you an abundance of money on there. So there's a lot of really niche things on there, which I also like, because you're not just getting my stuff. It's not like a Patreon where I tier everything. I'm giving you one thing. So if you're a premium member, you also get my feed from Action for Assange last night. You know, that's up there for premium members only. So, you know, I'd like to keep most of like the vast majority of my stuff, if not all of it, free at one point, right? You could have watched the Action for Assange stuff somewhere else, etc. But you know, I do have to give my premium subscribers a little something, so they get the archives, you know, or the stuff that doesn't end up on YouTube. And I just thank y'all, Bermas Brigade, for coming over, because we're 9,000 plus strong on that platform. That means I've moved over about 1 in 8 from my 60,000 subscribers over there. And I want to make it, you know, 1 in 6. And then I'm going to make it 1 in 5. And if I can make it half, that's incredible, because that's a growing platform. And YouTube is one that it continues to, you know, try to censor people that are going against what they call authoritative sources. And these authoritative sources are proven wrong time and time again. And I know you watch. The big trick over at the Bermas Brigade, over at the Info Warrior, is we use the authoritative sources against them live on air.
Absolutely.
And basic common sense.
Yeah. And you call it out, and it's right there, right in front of our face. Every time. All right. What's up?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, if I'm giving an opinion, I let people know. If I'm laying on the sarcasm thick, you can probably tell, unless you're immune to sarcasm. And otherwise, the documents are right there. A lot of people are upset at me because I don't put the links in there. But listen, you're a search away from any. I give you the headline. If you pause the video, you can actually see the URL where it is. I mean, what else do you want from me? I get it. You want an easy click, and I get it. The reason I don't do that is because I'm trying to not get my content flagged by algorithms as much as possible. And the more you put that stuff in there, the more it does get flagged by the algorithms, and they're already throttling every one of my videos.
For sure.
So I hope that's a good explanation for the naysayers out there and whatever. I'm like, listen, you know, that's why there's really no description of my video. It's not going to help me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny. I was talking to Ford Fisher, who does a lot of on the ground journalism while I was in DC. And I had just come over, and we were over at the Harrington, and I was live streaming from the Harrington. And he asked me, he goes, dude, do you get he saw the one video I had there that said, good morning, which was my walk over to the Harrington.
Yeah.
And he goes, do you get views on videos like that? And I go, yeah, man. I go, honestly, like, my title, sometimes it matters, but most times it doesn't. He's like, okay, wow. And like my buddy Joe was saying that my biggest video of the year is a video I almost didn't go and do. And it just says, here we go. And it's the live stream from DC later at night and that march.
Wow.
I mean, that's about as generic as a title. You know, the thumbnail is a blurry in the night shot of a few people. Like, what else do I have to say? So, you know, you never know. You never know. And you never know what's going to catch fire, what's not. And I think that the key is to continue to try to just do the good work. Let people decide for themselves. Again, at any moment you can hit the space bar, pause my videos, and look the stuff up yourself.
That's right. Do your own research. That's where it's at, guys. That's what's up. Yo, Jason. Okay, I'm glad you brought up Alex Jones, because that's great. I mean, I go back to when I lived in this small town, and then I moved out of the small town, came up to Denver, Colorado, and went to school. All right. I was like in junior and then like the 9/11 stuff, dude. I always thought something was up with that, especially when they caught Bin Laden and they just threw him in the ocean. Like, what? So like, I know, right? Okay, so I always thought stuff to myself, man. But I grew up in a small town, so like it wasn't really popular to bring stuff like that up. So, anyways, I kept it low key, but I moved to Denver, and then dude, okay, so I was thinking about I always thought about stuff, crazy stuff like time travel, aliens. But this is when like YouTube was first coming out. And so I would type it in, and the only people that would come up would be either Alex Jones or Coast to Coast Art Bell. This was when Alex Jones was throwing audios, bro, not videos yet, just audios up on YouTube. So I was like, oh my gosh, there is other people that think like me. This is when the YouTube was first starting, right? Okay. So Alex Jones comes through, and then you come through with the loose change, man. Oh my gosh. And then you do that interview with those one people live. Was it for like
Popular Mechanics?
Popular Mechanics.
Now.
Yeah, man. And you had so much passion, and I was like, that's my boy right there. And dude, can you believe it? From then until now, and here we are talking. So I want to give a shout out to you. So thank you so much, because I had that mentality too. And number two, dude, I always lose track, but yeah, dude, that loose change was great stuff, man. And I never thought that like this is just legit, man. And I'm always thinking positive, and I'm always so grateful. And I said, man, I want to get Jason on the show. I told my girlfriend this. Yo, my mom and I watch you, dude. So like when I go visit my mom lives about almost 4 hours away. And dude, I share the links with her with all your videos. I send them to her, and then I'll call her at night, be like, did you watch? And I send her TikTok videos. I'll be like, yo, mom, did you watch the TikTok videos? She'd be like, no, not yet. I'll be like, yo, did you watch the Jason Bermas video yet? She's like, good old Jason. Dude, straight up. She's like, loves you, bro. She's a teacher.
Well, that's good. Listen, man, because I'm not that smart of a guy. I want to make that extremely clear. I'm just a regular dude. You know, a lot of people have these, you know, you talk about even Alex Jones to an extent, you know, I got to see a lot of the inside of Alex Jones. We're all regular people. You know what I'm saying? And the box they want to put you in, especially when you talk about this kind of stuff, you know, they want to put you in this box that I'm the guy on the internet all the time in my mom's basement, and I never had a social life. None of that's true. Like I'm so like the guy that wants to go out and have a good time. And honestly, it was 9/11 that took me from like internet researching, like things like you're talking about, aliens or time travel, or even MK Ultra and JFK and all that other kind of stuff, that some of it was real, some of it may not be.
Underground military bases.
A lot of things, you know, you look at those things. And then when it got to 9/11, that's when it got real. That's when I realized this is impacting my real life. And a lot of this is real. And I came across, you know, Alex Jones when I was questioning 9/11. I came across Road to Tyranny, and I wanted to prove him wrong. And as I went through it, you know, even the stuff that was maybe not 100% had something that was grounded in a real report. And I was like, man, this sucks. And I'll tell you, when in those younger days, you know, in the run up to the Iraq war, before we were in Iraq, and I was thinking about this, you know, I was up at night. I'm a New York guy. You know, I saw this was affecting people around me.
Oh, I bet.
And it was very real to me. And I don't know, man, that's just where everything flipped. Where as to at the time, man, I was a young guy who thought, you know, I'll end up working for a company. I'll do graphics. I'll, you know, make good money. It's about money and a nice house and all that other stuff and blah, blah, blah. To, oh my God, this is real and nothing else matters but fighting this, you know, period.
Yeah.
And, you know, money's great. You know, it frees you up from a lot of things. You know, you need a certain level of financial independence. And that's why, you know, they're gutting the middle class. That's what this great reset is really about, taking away your independence, putting fear into you, getting you to be more and more dependent on the state or whatever authoritative figure they want to put out there. So, you know, for me now, 15 plus years later of me doing this now on some professional type level, whether it be documentary films or talk radio, or now the show I do here, It's just it's just the next level. I also want to get this out there. It's never going to stop. It's not like we're ever going to eradicate evil. All right. In fact, it's the evil people that will suggest that you can somehow eradicate evil. Because those are the people you have to watch, because the definition will always change what evil is. And it will always come from a, do as thou wilt attitude, and do as we say, not as we do. We're seeing that on micro levels and macro levels now with governors, with royal families, with billionaires, etc. So if you think at one point that, you're going to have to stop fighting, you might have to back off a little bit. You might have to fight less, but it's on like Donkey Kong, brother.
Yeah, dude. And like you said, we've been seeing a lot. Do as I say, not as I do.
Again and again throughout history. And now it's so brazen and so out in your, so in your face. Like people are coming down on Kirk Cameron because he let a bunch of people maskless to sing carols. Oh no. Listen, through this whole thing, I have been around crowds of thousands of people multiple times now. Okay. From when I was in Iowa the first time over the summer, that first event where I'm around thousands of people, kickboxing, boxing, to, what just happened in DC, and many things in between. We're okay. We did it. We made it, and anything less than that is just a mirage at this point. No one's saying the virus isn't real. They try to lump you into that. And as well as I do, I've been covering it as a very real thing from the very beginning and talking about what actual scientists are saying and pointing out, it's kind of weird that they're saying the vaccine is going to make antibodies and you also may be more susceptible to HIV. And it's weird that we had all those studies that were connected to HIV inserts on the virus itself. And it's so weird we've got these false positives of HIV when you take the vaccine. Those are questions that should be front page. You want to talk about scaring the shit out of people? If you actually showed that, you would be scaring them all the time, and rightfully so.
Right.
But that would be justified fear against big pharma and globalism, and that's a no.
That's true. And speaking of the no. I know that's your best friend. 60 Minutes, Leslie.
I mean, if that's not the most brazen, in-your-face example of how the media is literally turning up, it's so over the top. You could make a movie 10 years ago where it's like a president who's a businessman is in that situation, and you could call it, 24 hours instead of 60 minutes, right? Right? Whatever you want to call it. And you put that scene in there with the backstory that not only was the campaign absolutely spied on, but that the Hunter Biden laptop exists, that we're talking about high-level corruption business deals. We're talking about incest and pedophilia.
Right, that picture.
And they have all this stuff before they impeach the guy. People would be like, is this Monty Python? Are they coming back? Is this a comedy? What is this? They wouldn't have taken it even seriously. They would take, literally aliens blowing up the White House more seriously in a Hollywood production than what we saw in reality. Dude. As the president is told, that does not exist on national television, and it airs. And then they make him the villain.
I know, dude. I know. And he's like, yeah, they did. And she's like, no.
This is 60 Minutes. No.
She's like if she was the president, dude, like if she know what's going on.
Well, let me tell you what. If the things were flipped,
oh my God.
If it were like a Barbara Walters type show where Donald Trump in an alterverse were the host, right? And Leslie were the president, and he said the same thing to her, he would be off the air, cancel cultured, fact checked,
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, it wouldn't even be possible because she would have been such an establishment shill that we would have never got there.
Oh my, dude. Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. Like you said, I'm disgusted, dude, with that.
When I watch that, you wonder, it's just like when I had the guy from Esquire, the guy who wrote the Esquire.
Yeah, I know. I remember that one too. Oh my goodness.
You're running, the running narrative of the mainstream media, somehow me and my crew that created Loose Change ushered in the era of the QAnon conspiracy phenomenon. Doesn't matter that I have been debunking Q since it started. Literally since it started, I've been like, I don't believe, and this is why.
You're not a fan. Not a fan.
Never endorsed it whatsoever. And then they write an article where the only fact about 9/11 is a total misrepresentation of the debris field at Shanksville, Pennsylvania, something they've parroted for 14 years. Hearst Publications, Popular Mechanics, whatever. I've debated them. I felt like I embarrassed them. And I show him all the evidence. I show him the actual debris field. I show him there's a mountain range. I show him the paperwork that was on the lawn in New Baltimore. I show him the name of the woman that's sitting there with the debris. I show another family at a church with the debris. And I say this all to him, and he goes, can't you just contend that on that day, things could happen that were maybe a little bit and I go, so essentially you want me to believe in magic? Or they want you to believe in magic. They want you to get gaslit to your face. I go, there was no fact check on that. I go, we were talking 2 days ago. You were saying the fact checkers were going through the article. You wonder how this goes on. They've said the same lie for 14 years and no one is fact checking it. And we did it live on air and we fact checked it.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm not Hearst Publications, so I don't get any credit. There is no fact check for them.
Wow. No, for sure. And like you said, oh man. What about when you said maybe they would take us more seriously if we wore like a suit?
That's it. That's the thing. And I don't know why I think that people are less and less under that magic trick. It's really our parents' generation and older that are still maybe under that magic trick, because that's the popularity of Joe Rogan, right? He's not wearing a suit. He's doing long form interviews. That's why people watch that. But then even Joe Rogan's talking about the news and it's like, oh man, these people are in suits. They talk proper. Their hair's done well. They're in makeup. I'm in makeup. I'm an authoritative source. Rick Santilli. Back and forth. I don't love Rick Santilli, but he was 100% right. And the pretty boy in makeup is just like science. Yeah. No, sir. Science. Look at me. Science. And it's like, oh, I forgot that we've had settled science now throughout our entire world forever. And it's like science changes constantly. And people should understand that concept. You know why science changes constantly? Because the magic box that is in my hand was once, okay, it was a big square box that you had to take in and you had antennas on. It only got black and white. And it was also a device that at one point was something that you had to do this dialing thing on a rotator. And then also, even more so, it's developed as some type of computer that's sitting right here. And I could go on and on and on of the things this used to be.
Yeah.
And they were all a whole lot bigger. The cameras on here used to be, you had a macro one that used to be a microscope. Yep. You got the field of range that used to be a DSLR. I could go on and on and on and on. This device alone shows you that. But I don't have a Harvard degree. I'm not in pretty makeup.
You know what, dude, you're absolutely right. This guy right here, what is the stuff that it does, dude? It's just it's crazy the way it from social medias, from the way that it used to be landlines. I don't remember I seen a payphone anywhere. I don't even remember last time I seen a landline anywhere. So
I'll tell you what, when I was going through Iowa the first time, I was staying on the Rock Island end. And I actually did like a tweet, I think, of a broken payphone. Like it was gutted, but it was still there. Still, I'm like, I haven't seen one of these.
Oh, wow.
God knows how long. And that was in Rock Island in Illinois across the river. So yeah, man, like, technology flies. And unfortunately, this agenda has taken a turn for the worse, very, very blatantly and openly. There's a reason that in front of you, I'm sitting behind a book that says literally COVID-19, The Great Reset by Klaus Schwab and his buddy there. So, you know what? I hope people, after this interview, if they're unfamiliar with me, Ariel, they check my stuff out, because all my documentary films are free. They're in the playlist section. I do it several times a day. And I mean, if you enjoyed this interview, we're just scratching the surface.
That's awesome. Oh, this is barely scratching the surface, dude. And I know that you're a busy guy, so I just got a couple questions for you real quick. Right now, I just want to let you know that these are my favorite things that you do when you go live, dude. See, to be honest, I just downloaded, my Mac just did an upload of the new version. And so like, all the setting mess with all my settings, dude, automatically. So now I'm getting text messages on my computer, and I've never done that, never accepted that. And with this new version I downloaded, that's why you're hearing these rings, and I don't know how to take it off. But besides all that, dude, my favorite thing, I like to see what you do live is when you do the Leslie thing. That's legit. When you do when you get shots and you go the boop, that is hilarious, bro. And then when you go Rockfin, when you say Rockfin more than 3 times, I just crack up, dude. I'm just like,
hey, you got to Rockfin, bro. You got to Rockfin all day long. Like, again, because one day, listen, it's all selective enforcement. It's all arbitrary. They never want a human to talk to me. It started when I tried to get my t-shirt shop in there, and they wouldn't allow that. And they said it was because they were in beta. Okay. It's because you're in beta. Sure. They don't like the fact that a guy like me might be, a threat to a guy in a suit and pretty makeup, or a girl in a pantsuit and pretty makeup. They don't like that, whether that's a politician or that's some, esteemed intellectual, right? Somebody who's got a nice degree, or, a head of business. They don't want a guy like me to get, throw darts into reality, because that doesn't make them look so good. I know I'm just a product, a shitty publication, and a state school, beauty school dropout. But you know what? Bring them on. I'm ready. Bring them on.
That's what I've heard, dude. Especially when you tell me that if you want people show up at your door with the COVID vaccine, you're like, it's time to square up. I remember that.
Well, I square up with my mouth. That's my best tool, bro.
Straight up. Yeah, straight up. Yep. Hey, dude. And then, oh, there went that. Here's another thing. I already told you this. My mom and I watch you. Dude, your NBA Jam. Do you remember playing that video game?
Yeah, no, I throw it on every once in a while still. I love NBA. And it's nice that they still have like the old school Knicks on there.
Yeah.
So like I have, yeah, don't get me wrong. It went up to the Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony days, but you can still pick up, Starks is on there. Ewing's on there.
Oh my.
And I think there's a third guy. I think it could be Oakley also. And that's my team, man. Like that's, John Starks growing up was my favorite NBA player, hands down, without a doubt.
Nice, dude. Nice. Cool. This is my last question. Man, I just want to say thank you so much, guys. Shout out to the Bermas Brigade. Shout out to Jason Bermas for coming on to the show. Thank you, man. I feel the vibes. Here we go. What, like, for instance, I know that you got into this, like, what made you, I know that 9/11 was a turning point, but did you always think that you wanted to be a broadcaster, like a pod,
No.
like
100% no. Never thought that. I thought that I was going to be like an animator or an artist, man. I didn't get my hands on digital tools because I graduated high school in 97. I was a poor kid. Not like I went to a great high school until like really 99. Because in 98, they make you do like your first year of college. I was doing the regular like 2D design stuff. I just wanted to get in the computer lab.
Mhm.
And Photoshop helped change my world. And even then, I always thought that I was going to be, I still kind of, I'll be honest, I still kind of have dreams of one day being able to do an animated type series. There's this series that I've always had a thing for, I've always wanted to do. Who knows if it'll ever develop, right now, obviously my life is in another place, But one of the things that I'd love to do in that is sneak in a lot of history that isn't in the mainstream, but do it in an entertaining way. So I'll be honest, man, it was, like I said, my whole life flipped after 9/11. And then I realized, you know, and it wasn't until like way after 9/11 when I was just about to turn 24. So 2004, when I got my first desk job. Cause until then, you know, I'm just a college dropout that's working in a pizza shop, dude. You know, that's it. That's all, you know, I'm just a bum. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, just another fucking number. But I don't know if I could say the F-bomb here.
No,
but,
dude, you're all good. Do you, dude?
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, the bottom line is, you know, they all want us to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up from that, and, you know, don't get me wrong, there are life events where you start gaining confidence in yourself, right? It all started to ball together like it was once I got that graphics job. And then somehow, you know, through my second job that I still kept as a pizza guy, I fell into meeting the loose change guys. And then it's all of a sudden documentary films. And then all of a sudden it's, you know, talk radio. And now it's, you know, new media and all this, you know, stuff that honestly, you know, you watch, I'm passionate because it is what I love. And when you find that, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, for sure. And have you ever been to Denver, Colorado?
Yeah, a couple times actually. You know, it's been a while. It's been probably over a decade since I've been out to Denver. But it was one of those. I was there pre-full legalization of weed, like when it was just kind of like decriminalized way back in the day.
Yeah.
I really loved, you know, the area, and Colorado is one of those really pristine, great places.
Right on, bro. Guys, that is the show. That is Jason Bermas. I feel like this was a gift from God. I just want to say thank you, God, for having Jason come onto the show, spin some truth and some wisdom and just his expertise. This is a lifetime for me. This was a present, I believe, from God. And it's just a dream come true, man. And I just want to say thank you so much. You have no idea.
No, man.
This is the biggest thing that's ever happened to my life in my life.
Stop.
Yeah,
You're killing me here.
No, for
listen,
sure.
Stop. Listen, I just want to thank you and others like yourself that are supporting truth and trying to reach other people. Like you said, you're talking to your mom, you're talking to other people. That's what's important, man. And, you know, no matter what craziness is going on in this world, really take this time during the holidays to have a good one, to actually be with your family. And if that's extended family and you can do it, don't let the fear overcome you, because, you know, that's what's really important. It's the human relationships that we build. And it's, you know, to get over the fear of talking about these issues during those times and not trying to get aggressive and scare everybody, but, you know, get them thinking in a different way that again is going to get you motivated. And if that's locally at first, that's what we need more than ever. So Ariel, thank you, brother.
No, thank you, man. Like I said, dream come true. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll stay in touch, dude. Thank you so much.
All right, later on, brother.
God bless. Oh my goodness, guys. You've seen it. I tried to keep it cool, calm, and collect, as you can tell. Woo! Look, I'm sweating right now. Guys, that was Jason Bermas on the show. Believe that. He wasn't even like, yo, when is this coming out? Yo, am I gonna get a link to this? Dude, he didn't even say that. Shout out to my boy Jason Bermas. Bermas, you already know, arielent.com.